Joining us now to talk about today's big stories, a member of the Senate Judiciary Committee, interviewing Judge Amy Barrett today and yesterday, John Kennedy, Republican senator from Louisiana. Senator, thanks for being here.
You bet, Brett.
First, I want to ask you about the judge, how you think it has gone, how she has kind of survived some of the tough questions on the Democratic side, and where you think this is right now.
Well, after about 20 hours of testimony, I think any fair-minded person would have to conclude that Judge Barrett is eminently qualified. She's a very impressive intellect. She has integrity. She has a wonderful judicial temperament. And she has a very studied, disciplined judicial philosophy. Now, I happen to agree with it, but even if you don't agree with her judicial philosophy, it's not some frivolous belief. She spent a lot of time thinking and writing about it, and she'll be a great addition to the United States Supreme Court.
This is the vice presidential nominee, Senator Kamala Harris, talking about this process. Take a listen.
Sadly, my Senate Republican colleagues are doing, I believe, great harm with this illegitimate process. And if they are successful, it has the potential to do great damage. And I believe that damage is to the people of our country and to the United States Supreme Court.
You know, I asked Senator Tillis this last night. I think everyone believes that if Democrats were in the same position, that they would move forward to fill the vacancies. But what would Republicans do in this same position on the side that Democrats are now if it was a President Obama filling this seat 20 days before an election?
Well, if you look at the history, here's what I think it shows. When the Democrats are in control, and by that I mean they have control of the presidency and the Senate, and there's a vacancy on the United States Supreme Court, they fill the vacancy. They do what they think is right, and that means to them filling the vacancy. I think you can say the same thing about the Republicans. I think that's what our founders intended. The provisions in the Constitution about vacancies on the United States Supreme Court are unaffected by the electoral calendar. When there's a vacancy, if the president chooses to fill it and nominate someone, then the Senate advises and consents, and that's all we're doing. We're following the Constitution.
All right, Senator, I want to ask you about this other story that's breaking. The New York Post, I'm sure you've read it, about these emails allegedly from Hunter Biden's computer that talk about a meeting with Joe Biden and what the company expects Hunter Biden to do for it. There's other stuff on that computer as well. We can't get to the provenance of how it gets to the FBI and how it gets to Rudy Giuliani through an attorney. We're trying to dig into this, and a lot to learn. But Twitter and Facebook have prevented people from linking to it. I want to get your take on the story and about the social media reaction to it.
3 points, Brett. Number one, these accusations are as serious as 4 heart attacks and a stroke. Now, we're talking about a major party nominee for President of the United States of America with an election right around the corner. And every single solitary responsible news organization needs to be investigating the veracity of these allegations and these emails. Number two, the New York Post is a responsible, reputable news organization. It is subject to the libel laws and the defamation laws of our country. If social media is playing favorites here and trying to pick winners and losers and discriminating against the New York Post because it doesn't like the article, that is wrong, if that's what's going on. Number three, while we're trying to figure this out, here's what we do know, and it's important. President Obama put Vice President Biden in charge of America's foreign affairs with 2 countries, Ukraine and China. And in both cases, his son, Mr. Hunter Biden, walked away with millions of dollars of contracts. I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but I'm telling you this. This is the message it's sent to the rest of the world. The foreign policy of the United States of America can be bought like a sack of potatoes. And that's a disservice to America and to the world.
We're this close to an election. We're trying to get to the authenticity of these emails. The Biden campaign said the meeting didn't happen by their calendar. They haven't pushed back on the authenticity of the computer. But do you have problems, Senator, that the Treasury Department called the man that was meeting with Rudy Giuliani an active Russian agent for more than a decade? Do you have problems with the story 20 days from an election as we are looking into the authenticity of all of this?
Well, here, I think many people have questions right now, Brett. We want to get this right. It's important that we get this right. But there's an answer. Every responsible news organization in America, and frankly the world, needs to be investigating the veracity of these accusations and those emails. This is important, and we need to get this right. And that's why we have the First Amendment and why we have a free and fair, supposedly fair, media.
Senator Kennedy, we appreciate your time, and we promise you we're in the process of digging as well.
Thank you,
thanks.
Brett.
Up next, the